Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. I created this video for the Imagine Crafts channel, but I really wanted to share it here with y'all in case you wouldn't see it over there. So let's jump on in. We are going to be stamping with fireworks sprays today. It's something that I learned relatively recently and thought, well, let's give it a try. I love me some fireworks sprays, and I got the desert sand and the potter's clay just recently, and I thought that I would use that big old Barberton Daisy stamp from Picket Fence Studios along with these colors of fireworks sprays, and I decided to add the bamboo leaves and a little bit of the London fog. The London fog gets taken over in the whole process. It really doesn't play much of a role at all. But I start out by just spraying the sprays right on my work surface, and then I'm just dipping the stamp into the spray. Now I will use my work surface as my stamping platform, if you will, because I'm just going, as you can see, just flipping it over there right on top of the surface, and then I bring my watercolor card directly to the stamp. Now you want to make sure that you hold that cardstock still. You don't want it to shift. So hold it firm and make sure that you rub all over the entire stamp, and then you lift. You can see I missed a little bit right there, but I'm not mad about it. I do it a couple more times just to see how many good prints I can get, if I can get a full coverage print, and from there I will make a card and I will choose the one that I like best out of all of these. So again, the same thing, just using that ink that's on the work surface and taking my watercolor card directly to the stamp, holding it still, rubbing it down, and it's so pretty. It's something I never expected would work, to be honest, because I just thought they were too fluid, and they are quite fluid, and it stays quite runny on the stamp. That's why you want to make sure that you, to me, flipping it over upside down allows the ink to fall down into the crevices and not onto your card. So you get a cleaner image versus a lot of liquid. And I'll show you what I mean when we get a little bit further on, when I have one that's just a little bit too juicy. So again, just stamping it several times, just trying to find my favorite. And you got to know that I did not waste any of that ink. So I created a bunch of different inky, messy, glorious backgrounds that I absolutely love. I used the Whimsy Stamps Mixed Media Bits stamps to help create these backgrounds. And that Argyle is a stencil from A Colorful Life Designs. It's fairly new as well, and it's called Messy Harlequin. And I just love me a Harlequin, and I had to get this one when I saw it. But yeah, beautiful. And here I am stamping in black, which is the Tuxedo Black Fireworks Spray. And I'm stamping in black over the colored grungy backgrounds. And I really like that contrast. That is very stark to me, and it just makes my eye happy. Now, I am a grungy girl. I love the grungy backgrounds, and you can see how these two got a little bit too juicy. I just had way too much ink on them, but I'm not mad about it. I like the way they turn out. I really do. And then I took that black ink that was sprayed down, and you can see that I kind of rubbed the edges of my backgrounds into the ink just to edge them. And then with this one that's going to be a bookmark, I used the creative medium and I spread it through the stencil and I allowed it to dry till tacky. And then I used this transfer foil and it worked. I was not sure how it would work with the creative medium. So this is all about exploration and discovery for me today, and I am having a blast. Now, a moment ago, I said how much I love a grungy background, and I do. But for this shaker card, I decided to take the simple stamped image, not adding anything to that background, just taking it for that beautiful stamped image in the fireworks spray, and then add to that a little bit with other elements, but not adding to that stamped background. This is just allowing those fireworks sprays to shine and that image to shine on that white cardstock, and we're just taking it from there, and I think it's beautiful. Now I have taken a piece of scrap plastic that some of my stamps came in. It's like an acetate. I don't know what is that our stamps come in, that our supplies come in. Is that an acetate? I don't know. Anyway, it's stamp packaging and I've trimmed it down, and I am making it's essentially a 5.5 by 5.5 inch square card. And so I cut my packaging in half, And you can see that I just laid it down flat. I turned my card base upside down so that it's facing the plastic and the work surface. And I'm using my tear it tape to adhere it to the back of the card and trimming off any excess. So I have adhered 3 sides down. So I lay down my tape, I peel the release paper off, and then I make sure that I really burnish the plastic down into that tape. You don't want that coming loose. And as I trim off my corners, I don't like those little flaps. So this is probably a little overkill, a little extra, but I want those little flaps that are left there, I want those to be flat. I don't want there to be any chance for my shaker bits to come flying out. So again, probably a little overkill, a little extra, because I'm going to be adhering this whole panel down to a card base, but this was my process. It is what it is. You don't have to do it for sure. But now with 3 sides closed, I'm bringing in my shaker bits. So this is where the fun starts to happen. So my confetti bits are from This Calls for Confetti. That first mix was called Midnight Dahlia. It's one of my absolute favorites. Love it. I used about half of my container, and I'm glad and I'm sad at the same time. I'll just have to order some more. That's all. This mix is called Victorian Halloween, and I just pulled out the big spider webs and I used the rest of it, and it's so beautiful. Those colors match the fireworks sprays so well, and then the green from the Victorian Halloween is a perfect match for the bamboo leaves fireworks, and I am just in love. So I'm adhering that final side down and trimming off those little excess bits, and then I adhere this whole panel down to the card base. And again, it's very simple so far, but I love all of the colors and the textures and the shapes of those confetti bits. They really just, they enhance that image and all those beautiful fireworks sprays. And so on the back, I've taken some more tear it tape and I've plastered this because I don't want it coming off. And I'm also using some of the On Point glue. And then I kind of plastered that on the back and I added it to the card base. Added the card base to that green panel on the back. And then of course the words Big Hugs, that's from Whimsy Stamps as well. And this is my final card and I love it. I'm so glad that I didn't grunge up that background. This, however, of course, is a grungy background and I love it as well. I added some heat embossing to the edges and just some lines to kind of frame it out, and the sentiments, those are from Whimsy as well. Now this one, again, grunged up the edges with the embossing powder and some hand-drawn edges, and the thank you is from Whimsy. And this one again with the grungy embossing along the edges and the almost abstract stamped flowers there on the sides, but I love it. Just a little bit of a tassel at the top and a little charm. That was just from Amazon, but those are my projects today. This one is the star of the show. This is why we're here. This shaker card, I think it's beautiful. I love that simple background, but I also love that it's that full panel shaker card. And these grungy ones just have my heart as always. There's not one that I dislike. I think this one, to be honest, is my favorite. The thank you, I think, is beautiful. That one just, there's something about that, the contrast of the black stamped image over that Harlequin background. Love, 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 love. Are you like me and have a hard time picking a favorite of your projects or anyone's projects? Everything wants to jostle for first place, it seems like, but that's okay. Everything is great in its own way. But guys, let me know, have you ever stamped with sprays of any sort, whether they're fireworks or otherwise? Let me know downstairs. And until next time, y'all, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy. Thanks for spending some time with me. Mwah! I'm out.